Hello everybody, it's Bill's that college football guy here with another video. Yeah, I just got off the road. He's in the sun. Even though it's high up, it's like right here, so it's blasting me in the face. I got off to record this video and I gotta head back this way, so I'm going back in the sun. Making a pickup and head down to Mississippi. But saw the title of the video. And you're first off you're asking the question, what do you mean there's Pac-12's expansion being pulled in different directions? Okay, here's what I'm talking about. Number one, first thing I need to clear up a point. 2 points. One, there are competing camps, but only one has the power. And that's Oregon State and Washington State. Because they're the ones who decide who comes in. But also this is coming from the fact that this is dependent upon who is willing to come in. Because like they've heard the rumor coming out of Texas State coming in at half share and the whole suit thing, which everybody, it could be this, could be that. Texas State is still in the driver's seat to get in. And they feel they should get full share. The fans do. Now, the problem is, fans don't make this call. Fans have nothing to do with it. This is the administration, their decision. So we're talking about a different situation here. Now, since Oregon State and Washington State are going in, the problem is, here's the problem, that reason why, even if it is just them, there is competing philosophies in this, even within them, possibly. We don't know for sure what they're going to do until they do it. But among everybody else, the schools coming in from the Mountain West, there's a philosophy coming out of, number one, they got told, and I've heard this from multiple people, that regardless of who they add, they're not making any more money. They've capped. They can't make any more. Whether they added at Memphis or UNLV or somebody else, it doesn't matter who they add. They're not making any more money. They're capped. That's it. Now, they're trying to make it more, but and the thing, so the fact is that here's the philosophies on here. One is the one that I have, which is, I've said this, if you follow me on X, I've on the old account and on the current one, my new one. The Pac-12 needs to establish a hub, I'm going to call it that, in the central time zone. 3 to 5 schools, possibly 6, maybe more eventually. That it gives you in the central time zone, it gives you that on there, gives you some brand power, and also allows for easier Olympic travel because it's basically a route. You can go through the schools in the area and then fly into one, do a shorter route to do these ones, and then fly back if you're doing Olympic sports, and to help them out. And eventually, I'm thinking if Pac-12 gets that way where they have like 6 for football in the central time zone, go back to divisions. Because you can have 7 in the West, 6 in the East, or do 7 and 7 if they end up getting that big. We don't know. You only play the ones in your own division, 6 games here, you play some here, you cross on there, you only have to play cross-country X number of times. Olympic sport, there's different ways of doing this. But I mean, the philosophy now is, which I believe Central Time Zone, the top 2 candidates, UNLV, like the fans on X, good Lord. Y'all are cracking me up. Pac-12 fans, Memphis, Tulane, South, they're all out. They're not coming. Now it's come up. Now, X is the Fanatics app. Let's call it what it is. And thank you. I'm on an off ramp. That's why they're flying by. As you can see, kind of right about here, my thumb, right here where traffic is. So they're not getting any of those schools on here. Fans on X are saying that they're going to go get UNLV and Nevada. They're also going to go grab NIU and UTEP. And I'm like, thought they were all not worthy of your time. Why are you changing now? But the fans are the fans. They're going to be fickle. They're going to do crazy things. Okay, so X is X. It's its own crazy little world. But I found it quite amusing that they're saying, we're going to go back there. Okay, number one, I don't see the Pac-12 going back there. You're trying to settle these lawsuits and trying to get this resolved, not add more to the problem. That's the last thing you need. So they're not going to do anything else. Not until 2031, 2032 when the Mountain West media deal ends. That's a different story. But as of this iteration, no, they're done. They're going different ways. Now, the belief has been, with something I've said for a while, and you can go back through the videos and on X and everything else to document it, Texas State, Louisiana. Maybe Louisiana Tech, if Louisiana says no. That's 2 schools in the Central Time Zone, get you started, and then you can build from there. That gives you a place to work from. You need something there. That's the philosophy, and that's what everybody's saying, like Texas State is pretty much, it's slam dunk, mailed in. That's one of the philosophies. One of the ones that's been most publicly, not publicly, but a strong belief. The other philosophy that is being done is if we don't make any more money, no matter who the hell we add, no matter what we do, we can't get any more. Why are we adding extra travel for our Olympic athletes? Why not stay regional and stay closer to home? We still get the same money and less cost and less wear and tear on our athletes. Rumor going around that this is scuttlebutt rumor, that this is some people around San Diego State talking about this. I have zero proof of anything, but it is being said. So basically, to do this here simply, you have one side that wants Texas State, Louisiana. You have the other side that wants to stay closer, which would be, brace for it, New Mexico State as the 8th member, and then Sacramento State or another FCS school as a football only. Both sides would bring in St. Mary's for basketball. There's also talk they would try to poach Grand Canyon from the Mountain West. I'm like, good Lord. On X. I spit my drink up all over the dashboard when I saw that because that was just so damn funny. They were already getting sued by the West Coast Conference. Then they get sued by the Mountain West. Not a good look. It's funny, though. It's funny. If, I will say this, I think, personally, Texas State, Louisiana is the move. That's where they should go. Because just because you are capped now doesn't mean you're capped in 2031. And with the governance that's coming out from the House settlement, which one of these days might come out, we will know more, and there's different movement, because FCS, FBS could go away. I've been talking about it for almost a year. You can go back and check on the videos I've done. And the fact is, it's on there, and I posted on X recently about it, brought up the original video, I brought it up about a new subdivision being created. They want to create 3 subdivisions based on revenue sharing. Now, I wasn't based on revenue sharing then. My thought was it was going to be the autonomous schools, the ACC, the Big 12, the Big 10, the SEC, moving on. Their own deal. The G5 has its own playoff, and there's FCS. You have FCS, FBS, and it would have been FAS, the Football Autonomous Conference for all the autonomous schools. That's what I thought it might be. No sourcing. That was just me. That was my opinion, my thoughts. That was nobody else. No source. Me. So, we don't know what's going to happen with this. So 2031, everything can change. So why not go in the Central Time Zone now? And if things change and it gets better and schools from the AAC, the American, want to leave, or everything else happens, because if the ACC gets poached with enough schools, because they already backfilled for 3 when they brought in Stanford, Cal, and SMU, if they get poached for more, they're going to be adding from the American. The American's going to raid the Sun Belt. And if Texas State and Louisiana are in the Pac-12, the AAC may be raiding the Pac-12. We don't know. There are so many possibilities that can happen on this one. So, like I said, I understand where they're getting from for if we're not going to make any more money, why are we going to the Central Time Zone in the first place? We go to New Mexico State. We're in Las Cruces. We're in the Mountain Time Zone. Travel's a lot easier. You pick Sac State up. You go from there. Maybe you talk to North Dakota State. I don't know. It's a football only. And the one thing, I'm going to address one other thing. I'm bringing up the soup deal. A bowl of soup causing this much problems. What the hell? All right. You think about it, it's funny as hell. But Texas State wanting a full bowl, does it mean full share? It could just mean soup, guys. We don't know for sure on anything until a public announcement is made. But the point is this. There are people outside of Texas State who feel they deserve full share, and there might be some people within it. Now, if Texas State is offered a half share, would they go in? If I'm Texas State, what the hell's the half share? Well, they're not going to get invited until the Pac-12 has a media deal, so just put that to bed. That's not happening. So you're going to get your media deal then. You'll find out what you have. You'll find out what you have, what a half share is. And then, because I did a poll on X with 3 options. One was, if you had a choice, the Bobcat fans, you had a choice, which would you take? A half share in the Pac-12, full share of the Mountain West, or stay in the Sun Belt? My predictions before, I didn't write it down, but I thought it would have been Pac-12 1, stay in the Sun Belt 2, Mountain West 3. I thought that was going to be the order of finish. Instead, it was full share Mountain West, Pac-12 half share, Sun Belt. Not the hell what I expected. Totally threw me off. Because I've said publicly, if you follow me on X, you've known this. I've said this on YouTube on many videos. I have had a prediction what the Pac-12 and Mountain West mini deals would be, and I'm not backing off. I said the Pac-12 will be somewhere in the $8 to $10 million range, and the Mountain West will be between $3.5 and $5 million. I've seen people say they're going to get 2. Genius. They're going to get 3. They're going to get no money. The current deal is 3.5. They can get a flat extension for 3.5. They can just extend the current deal and get more money than that. And they were due to get a raise. A substantial one, according to some rumors. Questions, what the hell's substantial? But the point is, they would on there, they're going to get at least 3.5. That's what they have already. And I figured 3.5. That was before NIU decided to join the conference. And that was before UC Davis, which came out of nowhere. I had no call on that. This was just UTEP, and with UTEP coming in, with Grand Canyon coming in, no NIU, no UC Davis. With that, I'm figuring now it may be 4. With the Pac-12, 8 to 10. So a half share of the Pac-12 would be more. Now, if you're offering Texas State a 2/3, 3/4 share for 2-3 years, make the move. But the problem is because the thing is, they say, we'll just go to the Mountain West. Do you understand what this means, full share? Look, I lived in Vegas. I've known people around both conferences. I've known people who worked in there in the Mountain West on there. So I get that, and that's full disclosure. But the fact is, joining the Mountain West, you're traveling to Hawaii for Olympic sports. No matter what you think of Pullman, Washington, or Corvallis, Oregon, it's still shorter by quite a few thousand miles, or 1,000 miles. Because it's a long damn way to Hawaii. And you're not going to get any travel subsidies to help you out with it. So Pac-12 would make more sense. And I fully expect them to do that unless it's a ridiculous lowball offer like 40%. If Texas State does what I think is the unthinkable and turns the Pac-12 down, they're going to have to go to New Mexico State. They're going to have to. And if they can't get Texas State, they're not getting Louisiana. They're probably not getting Louisiana Tech. No, Conference USA money, they still might. Because like New Mexico State is willing to take a 40% share, 25%, 40% share. Because everybody's got to understand the fact Conference USA only makes $900,000 a year. So even a 25% share of an $8 million deal is $2 million. Now, if it's a 10, say it's at the top end of 10, they can do a sixth, which is 1.8, 1.6, 1.7. Still a lot more, almost double the money. I mean, they wouldn't do that. They'd probably do 1/5, 20%, which is $2 million a year. More money than they're getting now, with an the escalation clause, kind of like that it does with the AAC that they're doing with the Conference USA schools. Do I think Texas State's going to turn us down? No. But then again, we need a deal. Just throw a reason Texas State and all the other schools have not made a move. There was nothing in writing. We want something in writing. And I have to clarify something else. Like, I have heard, and I went back and saw some videos, and someone recommended to me, sent me a private message on X about Kanzana and Wilner's idea that the Mountain West is in trouble because of the timelines. There's a timeline that is of concern to the Pac-12, and that is June 1st. That is when the departing schools who are planning on leaving the Mountain West for the Pac-12 have to formally, in writing, give their notice to the conference and all the member schools and pay the $5,000 deposit on the exit fees. They have to do that by June 1st. Now, there are still some people, and I'm going to educate those of you here who are still, well, if they decide not to go to court and they go to these, they're going to need to get the money. It says, really? Okay. You do understand the fact that even if you went to court and the entire scheduling agreement penalty system of poaching and exit fees was thrown out, you're still paying exit fees? Because there was the memorandum of understanding that was signed in 2021 that the current media deal is based on, that has exit fee penalties of more than 12 months notice is 17 million, less than 12 months is 34 million. So if they don't give their notice, which is required for the short notice by June 1st, June 2nd hits, that 17 turns to 34. So June 1st, they have to have it. That's why I did the video where about they have to have this done by Memorial Day. It's not optional. That gives the Mountain West schools time to formally give notice. That way they can give the notice on the 28th to 29th of May before June 1st. That gives them days to that gives them the rest of the week. Or if it's the 31st, it gives them the rest of the week to give them the damn notice, to file notice, to get it done. It gives them the breather. And the fact is that the schools want 30 days or so to look over the media deal. That gives them time, so that way they're short of June 30th, so that way they can give notice to their conference and not have to pay the extra exit fees. So Memorial Day is crucial for the Pac-12, and I fully believe they'll get a media deal done by then. Because if they don't, I don't even want to think about that, because that means the Mountain West schools would have to commit to the Pac-12 without a media deal. That, if they really, the June 1st deadline goes by and the Pac-12 still doesn't have a media deal, hashtag fire Teresa Gould will really be kicking into gear. Because there'll be no excuse for this. But then again, it's not going to be fire, it's going to be fire Oregon State and Washington State, because as Teresa Gould said in her interview, she works for them. She doesn't work for the Pac-12. She works for them. And the one thing everybody's got to understand is, for the 5 schools and the fans, Boise State, San Diego State, Fresno State, Utah State, Colorado State, Teresa Gould doesn't work for you. Gloria Nevarez works for you. Until July 1st, 2026, Teresa Gould only works for Oregon State and Washington State in putting them in the best position possible. That's her job right now, is to work for them. And she still works for them. What's taking so long? They don't like the deal. So what's the delay? Blame them. That's who you should be yelling at. Oregon State or Washington State. Because they're the ones driving the bus. They're the ones who make the decisions. So again, like I said, I pray it doesn't happen. Because June 1st rolls around, no media deal. Literally, what the blue hell? Would some of the schools have second thoughts? May not share it publicly, but privately I'm willing to bet. What the hell are they doing? Do I think it's going to happen? No. I expect the deal by Memorial Day. If it went to May 1st, I'd be having problems. Because now it's like, dude, you got less than 30 days. May's hit? Seriously? What are you waiting for? They want to get the best deal possible. Now, for those who are putting out the rumor that Oregon State and Washington State are going to lead the Pac-12 for the AAC or any other G5, unless it's a power invite, they're not moving. Unless they're going to the ACC, the Big 12. They're not getting the Big 10. They're definitely sure as hell not getting the SEC. If they get an invite, those two, they're going to leave. If not, they're not. So they have to stay in the Pac-12 for a year. Because August 1st, I believe, is the deadline date. The conference has to exist on August 1st. Not July 1st. August 1st. So that way they don't have to pay back the money. Which means the Pac-12 has to exist for 1 year. If they get a power invite, they'd eat it and figure out a way to pay it back. If they don't do it, it's a different story. But in closing, are there two different philosophies in the realignment for the Pac-12? Yeah, there are. There's the group that wants Central Time Zone, Texas State, Louisiana, maybe Louisiana Tech if Louisiana says no. There's people who think that way. And there's people who want it to be more geographically closer because we're not going to make any more money, and that's New Mexico State and maybe Sacramento, Sac State is a football only or whoever, and stay regional to help with travel. I personally believe they're going to go Texas State. But I can't shut down and say that it won't happen. Because there is the possibility of New Mexico State coming in. There's a possibility there could be Texas State and New Mexico State. For all the hell we know. But I'm figuring between Texas State, Louisiana Tech, New Mexico State, 2 of those 4 is going to be in the Pac-12. Texas State is pretty much a done deal. The other one, I don't know. I don't know. But Texas State and Louisiana would be the smart move to make. But pinching pennies and asking for lower shares, we don't need. It makes you look broke. It appears to make you look broke. Well, they're not worthy of it. We're the Pac-12, and this is what I keep hearing. You're not the Pac-12. The Conference of Champions is dead. Doesn't exist. You are a G6 rebrand. You're not that conference. That conference that won national titles doesn't exist anymore. And consequently, the conference that took a team to the college football playoff come 2026, that conference won't exist anymore either, the Mountain West. Because Boise State, who did it, won't be in the conference anymore. And to reiterate to somebody who sent me a direct message, Chris, I can't pronounce your last name. If you're in the comments, let me know in the comments. But that you know what? I'm not even going to bring it up. I'm not even going to bring it up. You want to bring it up in the comments, Chris. Okay? Probably won't. because you went after me. I told her what I thought of that. He blocked me. I doubt he's showing up. But anyway, smart move to make would be Texas State, Louisiana. Start the hub, build from there. Now, it's not. Are you going to get any more right now before 2031? Maybe, maybe not. St. Mary's. Football-wise, I don't know. I honestly don't know. If Texas State turns down the Pac-12, would they go to the Mountain West? No. They're probably going to stay in the Sun Belt, wait for the American to get poached by the ACC and be one of the backfill candidates if UTSA is gone. If UTSA is there, they're not going. Because there's legitimate heat there. Like, the reason why New Mexico State's not in the Mountain West is because of heat with New Mexico. Just saying. So I'm done running my damn mouth long enough, and I'm sorry for running long, but I apologize. But anyway, let me know what you think about all this down in the comments. So thanks everybody for watching the video. If you haven't done it already, do me the favor, smash the like button, hit the thumbs up. I would appreciate it. It helps. Comment on the video. Like I said, the only opinions in realignment that matters for the Pac-12 are Oregon State and Washington States, because they're the ones who make the decision. And we, right now, don't know what for sure they're thinking. Canzano puts out his stories that get told to him by the Oregon State AD, and half of them being wrong because he's given flyers to go out there as a test balloon to see how the people will react to it. John Wilner, different story. John's not saying anything on this, really. But Texas State, Louisiana, it seems to be the move right now. And that'd be a smart one on their part. But if you think it's going to be something else, you honestly think New Mexico State could go in, and I'm going to bridge up here. People were saying the hatred on New Mexico State. Why is there hate? Pac-12 fans view New Mexico State as less than their conference. And if they have to settle for them, why the hell do we make this move in the first place? Why do we bother doing this? We should have just merged with the Mountain West if we're going to get New Mexico State. That's what I've been hearing from Pac-12 fans, not the administration, because they're the only ones that count. But that's what I've been saying about this. But like I said, comment, let me know what you think about all this. Share the video if you want to. If you haven't done it already, check out some other videos I've done if you like them. Hey, subscribe. On the road to 1K. You want to follow me on X, like the old account, again, locked out, can't get back in, matter emails, everything else, still can't get back. The new account's up. The link will be in the description. I really appreciate if you would follow it. I'm just basically having to rebuild the damn thing from the ground up, which sucks, but that's what it is. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I'm on my way to Mississippi before I head east into this damn sun. So thanks everybody for watching. Be safe out there. It got cold. Snowing last night in Ohio on the way up here to Michigan. So thanks everybody for watching. Be safe, and please be good to each other.